I'm Mike Bellevue. I'm the black powder editor for Guns of the Old West magazine. But today I'm taking a step farther back to the Old East. Now, outside of the confines of this camp, it's the 21st century, but here it's the 18th century. And we're at the Fort Frederick 18th Century Market Fair for 2013. The Fort Frederick 18th Century Market Fair is something of a mixture of a reenactment combined with a colonial mall. There's plenty of shopping for 18th century items with vendors, and we all dress up in 18th century clothes, camp out, and have just a great time. The location of the market fair is at Fort Frederick. Now, this is an actual French and Indian era war fort. It was built in 1756 and 1757. It has been restored, and it's a beautiful location. Like a lot of people, I got to the market fair location a day early to set up my camp. And we had quite a thunderstorm that evening, and we were treated to one of the most beautiful rainbows I've ever seen. So it was a pretty auspicious way to start this event. Well, this is the encampment, and this is the first full day of camp. And it's already starting to fill up. This is a 4-day event, and there'll be people coming all during the 4 days. Now, one of the little jokes around here is when somebody comes up and says, "Hey, do you know where so-and-so's camp is?" You reply, "Yeah, he's in the white tent." So I camp in an area called the Cove, which is a bit of a more sheltered area in the woods. And this is my camp. And we'll just give you a little fast pocket tour. Table, chair, dining fly. Of course, we have to use candle lanterns to provide light. And I've got a little wedge tent. And as you can see, there's my cot. Pack basket with clothes. Little table. And shot bag and powder horn. And my trusty TVM 20 gauge fowling piece. This is one of the more unique camps up here in the Cove. This belongs to my friend David, who's a professional flintlock builder. And this is a neat little hunter's camp, and it's the only one I've seen like this. You can see David's actually got a fire pit right inside his shelter, and then there's his bed area, and he can sleep warm. I was admiring the incised carving that David did on his personal rifle. It's a very simple pattern, but it came out beautiful, and I'm going to try to copy it, I think, on the rifle that I'm building right now. David is truly a master rifle builder, and he makes some of the most elaborate rifles you'll ever see, and he can also make just simple and elegant designs. This is another great camp here in the Cove. It's a long-term buffalo hunters camp. Very neat setup. This is the Sutlers area of the market fair. There are over 150 vendors here. A lot of my friends call this the colonial era mall. So let's walk around, take a look at a few of the shops. You can find almost anything that you would have found in the 18th century here in the Sutlers area. From period correct fabrics to soaps and perfumes. Now we're at the Beaver River Trading Company, where they've got some beautiful woven basket packs and baskets, and some absolutely fantastic forged tomahawks.
I don't forge anything, they're all real. Last time I checked, they were pretty real.
Well, you got it here, folks, from the horse's mouth. They're all real.
And then they come back around.
Some beauties over here. Of course, of all the things you can see at Sutlers shops here at the market fair, some things interest me more than others, and the guns are what really interests me. And one of the great things here at market fair is there are so many custom makers, and you can get some really great historically accurate stuff that you just don't find everywhere. You can even find a few oddities like this wall gun with a 1-inch bore. If you're a reenactor or a black powder shooter, there are lots of things at Fort Frederick that are going to interest you. You can get hand-forged tomahawks, as we've already seen. There are some beautiful bags available and several custom bag makers. And one of the things that always catches my eye are the powder horns. And these things can be works of art. And there are probably half a dozen horners, which is what they call themselves, represented at the market fair. And some of their creations are just beautiful. There's really too much going on at the market fair to cover in just one installment. So in the next episode, I'll be covering the reenactors at the fair and some of the craftspeople.